Yeah, National Food and Buffer Stock Company na wada no Ora Abdul Wahab Hanan na yebekum ehunu dia ehumu.
Na ene nkom ebedie no efa Attorney General press conference ne dai oyeye. Wo kire say drip machines na eba ye no. Na nka sika esi etua no 176 million Ghana US dollars. Na so ko wiase no. Na yakotue mu 178 ne say $2 million ene ye de atoso. One is kan ko di ne nchen. Eno achi waka nsama hodo bebre afa buffer stock penny ene nsama hodo bi ho enne ehun komo ane yebedi.
Na eye LGBTQ ho nsensemi ne nam so ama panya wododom kese na no odumunya form Mahama yargade atodwa se hu hia se sa bill no esan ba mrahye bedwafi bi misan se abandada na penso no omudi hu dwuma ewie.
Ensemi ka ho na yede ebrem akenkan fo yeme eja kwabena mene
abna bayi nya no
afia ka sebo ne mu nsem nie dwumadie bi adade na se ade dwumadie bi de man pane His Excellency John Dramani Mahama wono na kokasa dwumadie na se na dwumadie yato ne din Ghana Infrastructural Plan na man pane kasa mu no dato dwa echiremu se ade ade na koma so pa ne se mpuntu dwuma ese se ye Ghana ha no mante bia benya no so ene ne de o se ne sai na betumi aboa ama mante bia di ye a amafo no so atumi adi ye ne kabo mu a oman Ghana adi ye.
The Ghana Infrastructure Plan makes a strategic reset. This new approach aligns our infrastructure development with our government's big push agenda, the African Union's Agenda 2063 and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The Ghana Infrastructure Plan introduces spatial planning models that promote balanced regional development and equitable access to opportunities. And this is what Professor Nimo was talking about, that you cannot, Doctor, I promoted you to Professor, sorry, GTech will come after you if I don't correct it. You cannot progress as a nation when you have geographical imbalance in economic development. And so setting up SADA as a special vehicle to accelerate development of the North was strategic. Unfortunately, a new government comes, shuts down SADA, and creates 3 broad development authorities, Coastal, Middle Belt, Northern, which really have done nothing, absolutely no impact. And so we must stop that geographical imbalance because every child finishing senior high school in the North, after a certain point in time, no economic opportunities, no employment opportunities, everybody is headed towards Accra. And that's what he said. It just shows graphically what the imbalance is. Every industry is in Accra. All foreign direct investment is coming into Accra. Incentives that have been given to rebalance development have not been very effective. And we must find a way of making them more effective. And that's why we are suggesting an agro-industrial park in the northern part of the country, where we redirect some of the foreign investors who want to invest and give them the necessary incentives instead of settling in Accra to move up to the north to create jobs so that the young people can have opportunities there and not drift down to the south. To build better, we must govern better. Infrastructural governance, the systems, laws, and institutions that determine how projects are conceived, financed, and executed must be strengthened. Good governance guarantees that projects are selected on merit, carried out transparently, and are maintained across political transitions. When infrastructure governance is weak, countries lose billions. When it is robust, every project acts as a driver for growth. We must therefore depoliticize infrastructure so that roads, bridges, and hospitals will serve as symbols of national progress and not partisan rivalry. Allow me to highlight these 3 strategic initiatives that exemplify this new approach. 1, the Green Digital City, which I announced last year, and I re-emphasized again during my trip to China, is a 20-year transformation hub spanning the Greater Accra, Volta, and Eastern regions. It will combine sustainable urban design, renewable energy, and digital innovation to attract global investors and talents. The expansion of the water systems in Ho, Tamale, Sogakope, and Hohoi to ensure clean and fair access to water. The strategic road and transport corridors to enhance national connectivity, boost trade, and ease urban congestion. These projects are not isolated interventions, they are interconnected investments within a unified national framework. And each of them helps to achieve spatial equity, support industrial growth, and encourage climate-smart development.
Aban lawyer Penya was also a swafa or shot and tenants so a Dr. Dominic Ayini na ene wedding sembi etudra efa kane kwanche for Penya National Food and Buffer Stock Company na wadano Ora Abdul Wahab Hanan na ensemwa wadi tudra no efa nhwehwemu omuguso eye efa opanyi ho abra na wowosa dibre no na aban lawyer Penyi edi atudra se omo asen hu money laundering bi ekoso abra na owo sa dibre no emu na wotremu se sika efa sa money laundering mu no enye sika kuma sika bebro 40.5 million Ghana cedis a wotremu se ni nyina no yade a eche se waye nia ensen fata oman ni sika no wode aye ono ankasa ne niema.
We have frozen all the assets of Anan that I have listed, including a 10 million Ghana cedis fixed deposit account at Republic Bank, Labone branch. That is the liquid assets. They also, had a lot of bags. I didn't want to list them. The wife has over 61 luxury bags. All right, name them. He himself was buying watches, some costing as much as 1.5 million Ghana cedis and so on. We have taken note of all of them, and so we've done the freezing, including those of the vehicles. So on account of the foregoing, we have decided to charge Mr. Hanan Abdul Wahab and his wife, Faiza Seydou Wuni, with stealing, conspiracy to steal, causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, obtaining public property by false statements, and money laundering. The charges will be filed on Friday, and I have the charge sheet, the draft charge sheet, which I am reviewing here for everybody to see, so that nobody goes to say that I have indicted somebody and I don't have charges. I have my charges ready. From now onwards, when we are announcing the conclusion of investigations, we are either contemporaneously filing charges or we are filing them immediately thereafter.
Yada so won santrofo hie mu attorney general ne dey wo ye no na asamba kwa ye nyina da apono so yaka wasama pem sabre aye National Service Authority en samandin ho mchere ghost names a honsam ba ya dey bi kura kokoto a ya mo bill eye gift oware mensa ani panyifa hudo bi a sisi honsam no e wo court na ne wo kasa no wo de tudwa kire mu se na hwehwemu mu di kan ye no na en samandin aye ghost names no e ka na abo man no 548 million Ghana cedis. Sena nye sakura netie. So chen sakura no se. Auditor General nhwehwemu amaye no e kire se. Ka sansamandin no de oman no ekomu oman ka man boy yes kana kudin krofo botom no 2.2 billion Ghana cedis.
AA plant pool was overpaid by $2 million. The contract sum was 176 million United States of American dollars. On the face of the contract, that is the sum that was stated. When we examined the invoices of payments, it was 178 million that was paid. So right away, there was a difference of $2 million. So we asked that $2 million be paid back by JA Plant Pool. We also realized that 190 pieces of equipment were added and cleared without payment of tax. In other words, they were added to the list as if they were tax exempt. I asked the investigators to go back, look at the HS code, and for those of you, HS code is a harmonized code that the customs officers use to determine the classification and taxes applicable to goods. When they did the analysis following the HS code, it came out that 38.7 million Ghana cedis of tax taxes were evaded. So in respect of the two sums, that is the $2 million, JFH Plant Pool has been asked, we have made a demand on them to pay that money. Then when it comes to the taxes, we have asked GRA, because under the tax laws, it is GRA that can make a demand for the payment of the taxes. So we've asked that GRA should make a demand for the 38.7 million. Now that is our investigators' assessment. GRA may come out with a different figure because they are the tax experts. So our investigators' figure may be confirmed or even adjusted upwards depending on what the GRA says. Now, when it comes to the issue of over-invoicing, we noticed that they were over-invoiced by between, that is the equipment, the drip equipment were over-invoiced by between 100 to 300%. All right, so I give you an example. One piece of equipment which costs $40,000, the government paid $84,000 for that equipment. That is over 110%. And so we are now diligently looking through all the equipment in the SkyTrain and National Service scandals. In the case of the latter, we have filed charges against the former Chief Executive, Executive Director, Osea Sibe Entry, and his deputy, Gifty Owari. Charges are being prepared against the rest of the public officers and the so-called marketplace vendors. In all, we intend to file about 10 cases in the NSA scandal and will use some of the public officers and vendors as prosecution witnesses.
Na Dr. Dominic Ayini assign so echiremu se na dwuma na woye no enye se obi ta echire na wo kyerɛkyerɛ no nea wonye na emom no kwan a wose ofa so na dwuma ne pepepe sa no woye so obi ne wo even yama mpanyimpo entimi enkyerɛ no kwan a onfa so enye na dwuma.
This investigation started in February 2025, and it is now that we have the results. As I have also told you, the oral reports are still coming into my office. Now, those who are pushing me to go to court and who are saying that by now convictions should have been obtained, I know you are Ghanaians, you have legitimate expectations of your government officials, including the president and the attorney general. But we need to do a good job. Accountability costs resources. Accountability, takes time. And so it is important that Ghanaians are patient so that we have the kind of results that I'm announcing today. Not that I will rush to court. Defense lawyers will come and raise objections, throw my case out, and then the same Ghanaians who wanted me to go to court expeditiously will now turn around and say that Ayine is an incompetent attorney general. I was never an incompetent lawyer in private practice. I don't want to be an incompetent lawyer in public service. So I want us to take our time to do the kind of work that I'm announcing today. And I want to also let you know that I'm under no pressure from any quarters to cut any deals. Mr. President, who is my boss, has never put pressure on me. On the contrary, when I brief him, he gives me his blessing. He doesn't even express an opinion one way or the other. He says, Dominic, I've heard you. All right? The Chief of Staff has never put pressure on me to cut a deal with anybody. The Secretary to the President, Dr. Kalisus Mahama, has never put pressure on me. On the contrary, he encourages me. He says the work is stressful, but I should keep on. The Legal Counsel to the President, my former boss, has never put pressure on me to cut any deal. Offers have been made, and I have turned all of them down. I have told everybody, please go to the court. If you want a plea deal, I'm filing cases. In the Wuntumi case, offers were made to us for a plea deal. I said, no, I'm filing charges. If you want, announce your intention for a plea deal to the judge. That is now my strategy. The MPP took advantage of my saying that I'm open to to having plea deals to say, okay, that I was busy cutting deals in the office. No deal has been cut, and no deal will be cut except under the auspices of the court of competent jurisdiction. That is what I have decided, and that is what we are going to do, going forward.
Yɛbɛkɔ na hyɛ bedwam na ne ɔmokɔ asetena no nsɛm kopie mu ni nyina fa LGBTQ+ sa obenefun ene sese ahohwibra ene musuo abrabo no mra no ho na eno ena dom kese on rahye bedwemba no dani onunyafo mahama ayare gade atoja ekiremu se so bi kokasa omo sanfa emra rahye bedwemu bio a na onipa no ntemra ase abanda da no anasa rahye bedwe etwa mu no ehye mra ni nyina agitu mu na akasa kamampende ne sabe hya se keke ena mampende da anfa ne hya anhya ase na sese de aka ne se mampende fufuri ode ne sabe hya ase
Monsantrefo nyina mudi hu da se sa bill human sexual rights and family values bill no ye de say other paper no say ye ba be take na start apase na ye ntumi anuro na ye sorry say ye de say enne ye be ba na ba beto aso enne ye ba ya NDC fo na akwa yi ato atwene ye bi say wo majority leader say wo mo ni mo hwe na speakers wo ni mo hwe clerks wo ni mo hwe first deputy speakers wo ni mo hwe ye bi say sempenifo ya wo mo so mo ni mo hwe ye one signature and approval bill no akudum pempenso e gazette ye ebeto other people ni so ye ma kwan ma NDC for emfa Ghana for adwen sabi eni agro ye ma kwan ma NDC for emfa Ghana for adwen ni agro kopase just 11-12 months ago politics and propaganda NDC for the sa bill ye say MPP aban and so gain some so and so ye penso ye passe and then woman penso omo ejane free ho ye demand say baby a bill no omo awiade akose bia no won san fa meto other paper ne so na enani na ya emprempren ya ye passe from Ghana for sanse na nanoma hemfo asofo imam for empeni ene mofra dodo na ohamu ntichemu aduokron miensa ena hwehwemu ada di se Ghana ha se wo the LGBT nsam edi agora eye enibresam ede mawom eye tiwade kase ede mawom eye ambodin kase ede mawom enu ntina bra president Mahama ba so a ne mpenso emrantie mienu free South Africa enya ba bia nyina se Independence Square be fefe wo ma no wo ho se wo mo ye gay for wo ma ware enti Ghana fo nso enware bi sa aban pani bia ntumi anka hwe obi antumi anche no national security obi anka hwe ankere no mo sa ekọ United Nations Human Rights Council ko kan se ebano LGBT nsam afedi wo mu dwane wo mu da ntamu no ye mo mo kwan ma parliament wo mu medwane mfiri ho ba bia bill no se bia no ene ya wo enfamra ye mo kwan mu nwane mfiri ho. They must bring the bill ni yem pass it na Ghana for akuma ento mu yem we enye politics ne ye Ghana for say bill no wo mo hwe anim yem pass ma wo NDC for mo famra na nyina no ye ma kwan mu bia medada obia.
We dear Reverend John Intim Fojo ejina edom kumano anemu editun central for enim FR LGBTQ+ bill no eho na dear edom kese ba no dani onumunya for Mahama Yariga enso ekafa ho ene say abanda da na penso no bill ne ba mrahye bidwafie mo passe ye enti samra ye ka say de o ma ye ho adwuma awie mo mrahye bidwafo ayo ma femu de awie enti ne nya de a bill no mbeka so mo sa de ba mrahye bidwafie ama mrahye bidwafo apene so ne ade ade ansa na mampanyi ede ne nsa hya ase san so mo adwuma ne de o ma ye awie aka say mampanyi ede ne nsa be hya ase ama no ayemra.
The Constitution says that if a bill is not passed, and then the life of the parliament expires, then it lapses. But this one was passed. Are you getting the situation? Is that okay? We have passed it. It's left with the assent. And if you remember, there was a big constitutional issue about what happened if the timelines for assent have passed and then the president's timeline for sending it back to parliament, he also doesn't comply with those timelines. And then there was an issue about the fact that there was a pending litigation and then some injunctive reliefs had been sought in relation to the matter, and it was also confused in terms of the litigation and etc. So yes, I take it that we passed it, and if you don't resolve the question of what is the legal effect of our having passed it, you know, it will be difficult to take it again on the floor of the House.
Abusuafo madaroma ha ne be home kase wonu so ye twa ye ho aba na ye de ofamie no ye nkomotwetwe no ato so ede amamo enne aban lawyer panyin Dr. Dominic Ayini eyensentrofo nhyiemu e kan sembebre wo mo a oman ni sika form nsase ene ho niema nhwehwemu a waye de apiepie free mu ye kwaba na yesi ho nkonya